So Joe, it's really nice to finally meet you in person. I think last time we were supposed to meet up was in March on our last studio shoot.
Yeah, so that was Greta's first taste.
Yeah, and you didn't show up. Why is that?
Okay, well, I hate to say it. I didn't, on the day that we were supposed to shoot the video, I had a heart attack, believe it or not.
Okay, that might be a valid excuse.
That is not a valid excuse.
Really? Okay,
no, you come,
he needs to be dead.
You make a commitment,
You
got
don't
to
show
follow
up.
through.
I know, it's crazy. I actually felt really, I felt bad about it, but there's nothing you can do in this case.
At that point,
there's nothing you can do. Yeah, I would have, if you'd have lined up 100 people and said, who do you think's going to have a heart attack? I would have never thought it.
I wouldn't have thought
me.
you.
I would have not thought me. I thought I'm in decent shape and I try and I'm eating good and all those kind of different things. And I care, meaning about my aviation medical. And so I would have thought, never me. I would have thought I was the last guy, but here I am jumping to the front of the line.
Wow. All right, so before we get into all the discussion about the medical, we're here at the Flying Eyes booth, and I want to point that out because if you go to flyingeyesoptics.com, you could use our discount code, taking off all caps, to get 10% off. We love our Flying Eyes. Actually, Joe's got a pair of Flying Eyes too.
Absolutely.
These are the best glasses under headsets and helmets that you could get. They slide right in and out, super thin frames, so go check that out. Also, Clemens Insurance at clemensinsurance.net. Those guys there go to bat for you, which is what a broker should do. And he saved me over $1,000 on my airplane insurance when I switched over to them. So go check out clemensinsurance.net for any of your insurance needs. All right, Joe, you are a DPE. You flew Black Hawks in the Army. You fly King Airs all over the world. You are the PA-46 guru, both piston and
turbines,
turbo. Yeah. And you are the TBM guru now.
Yeah.
All of that, and boom, you have a heart attack and lose your medical.
I did. It was as if life screeched to a halt for a while for me. It was really a chance for me to look at myself internally and say, okay, what am I doing and how am I doing it, and what do I really want to do in life? And the answer is I want to fly. I want to be, I mean, it really, some people look at this and say, you have a big major life event and I need to change everything I'm doing. For me, it was, I'm doing the things I love, and I'm helping people in the way I want to help people, and I didn't change a lot in my life as far as that's concerned. So the heart attack was a big wake up in terms of what do I want to do, but the answer is I'm doing the things I want to do. I don't need to change just a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, nothing changed.
When I heard and we talked, you said it was going to probably be like September, October before you could get your medical back. So where are we at in that?
Well, I've got it back.
Really?
Yeah. 3 months and 1 day.
Now, how did you pull that off?
That 3
you
months.
You must know somebody.
No, I don't. I mean, I really don't think that. Some people have said that my DP status, that the FAA wants DPs back in the game,
right,
and all that. But I don't think my status had anything to do with it. I think, if you look at what happened, I had the heart attack, which is obviously a negative event. I had a stent put in, and if you go to, anytime you have a negative medical event of some sort, there's going to be a protocol that the FAA has that you're going to want to follow to be able to submit your packet, your paperwork, to be able to get it all done. I literally got the protocol for that night. I mean, the day I had a heart attack, that night I'm like figuring out how I'm going to get my
You're already
back.
at
so
work.
You got the IV, the machines are hooked up, and you're going, okay, page 1. Check.
That's exactly. Actually, it is because
here's what I need to schedule.
Because there's
this
a
test,
lot of data that's on there. Like they want the specific data from the doctor. I was like, doctor, come sign right here. And I was doing.
Why are you laying in the bed?
Yeah, I was literally very, very interested in checking all things. But I think that's one of the secrets for me to get my medical back was that I followed the rules exactly to the T. And I think if there's anything that comes out to anybody else is that, I mean, down to the T meant that every document, there was like 300 pages of medical data. Every single one of those had to have my name, my medical number. Like there's a medical number on your medical that's yours.
Okay.
That number had to be there along with my name. And so I went and bought a stamp that had
Oh,
all
wow.
that. So every time a new sheet of paper came in, I'd stamp it with my data, and which means I was following the rules exactly like the FAA wanted me to follow the rules. And I think that was a big part of it.
And that is really important from what I've seen, is that a lot of cases, if you have a special issuance issue or denial, anything like that, whatever it is, like you say, there is a list. It's
Right.
a checklist. And I think really how it seems like it works at the FAA office at Aeromedical is they'll go through the list, and most people don't necessarily do or send in all the tasks that they need, right? So they'll get to the first checkbox on the list, say, oh, you don't have all of this, and they send it back to you, right? Oh, you need this.
And
so
that
the person,
takes time.
Yes, exactly. So
Okay,
there's
wait a
another
minute,
few
wait a
months.
minute. I know for a fact that it is the FAA's fault and not the pilot's fault.
Oh no,
the
I'm
time.
getting there. Trust
Okay,
me.
all right.
Yeah, I know that's going to be my task.
It is never the pilot's fault.
Oh, never. No, but that's the thing. So at Aeromedical, it seems like from what I've seen, they go through, they find the first thing that the pilot hasn't necessarily sent, test or whatever it is, send it back to them, say, oh, we need this additional information. Months go by, and airman gets a test, whatever, he sends it back. And then and only then, it seems like, does Aeromedical move on to the next checklist item. Oh, well, you don't have this either. And then they send it back again. And so
That's
you
right.
can have months and months and months of back and forth just because they don't seem like they'll go through and say, okay, here's everything that you provided, here's everything that you still need to provide, and give it to you all in one package. It's just like back and forth and back and forth.
That's exactly, it's even worse because if they find something not right with your package, they don't continue and tell you everything that's wrong with your package.
Exactly, just that. They
It's a
hang
back
up
and
on
forth.
it.
And every
Yep.
time it goes back and forth, it's time. It's
Huge
a lot
amount
of
of
time.
time.
A huge amount of time. So for me, it was, I wanted to get it exactly right the very first time. And I think that's one of the secrets to me being able to get the medical back was simply doing exactly like they wanted it done.
All right, I'm getting a little older, and every little arm, oh, my left arm, oh, I must be having a heart attack. Tell me the story about you getting a heart attack.
It was interesting because the day that I had a heart attack, I'm kind of into CrossFit and working out and stuff like that. And I did the CrossFit Open, which was a fairly big workout.
Which is why we should never do CrossFit or working out.
There you go. Never
It
exercise.
causes heart attacks.
This is what happens.
Exactly. Deanna, my wife says, I've never heard of anybody having a heart attack in a coffee shop. We should all drink coffee.
And donuts. Yeah.
Coffee and
Muffins.
donuts, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I did a workout and had rested up for it, and then I went to a gun range to go shoot. And I was hanging up targets out at the gun range, and I just started sweating profusely, even though it was like 65 degrees outside. It was just lovely, just beautiful. But then I just was just completely drained of energy, and I started having chest pain. And the chest pain you would think would be the real telltale sign, but then it was like, well, maybe what did I have for lunch? Yeah. And but then what was kind of cool is I have this Garmin Aviator D2 Mach 1 watch.
Okay.
It's like the fancy one, but it has an EKG function on it.
Wow.
And I keep track of I take an EKG every now and then. And so while this was going on, I did an EKG, and it was like a jumbled mess. Like I couldn't tell what it said.
Go to hospital now.
That was it. When that happened, it was like, I've done a bunch of EKGs, but I've never seen one for me that looked like that. So I knew what normal looks like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And knowing what normal looks like is important, because when abnormal shows up, now you get to respond to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like flying. You know what normal looks like all the time. You're looking for abnormal. And in this case, I knew what abnormal looked like. And that was the time I made the decision, I've got to go. So I went to the hospital immediately, got there, and thank goodness I got there very, very quickly. And that was one of the other keys to this. They put a stent in, and literally as soon as that was done, I was right back to normal. So
you could have come to the interview.
well, the doc wouldn't have liked it, I can promise you.
Excuses.
Doc wouldn't have liked it, I can promise you that.
So speaking of ladies, if you know, is there anything in particular for the women pilots out there that we should be thinking about on our side of things with respect to heart attacks?
It's interesting. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, hey, tell me about that heart attack, because I wouldn't have thought of you of having one what's the story, and I got to tell
Right.
the whole story. What's interesting about it is I've since gotten really smart about heart attacks. What's interesting about it is women are about equitable with men in terms of having heart. It's the number one killer
See?
And you
It's-
don't hear that.
It's women. It's equal.
Yeah.
There's equality
See,
right
we're
there.
all equal. There we have
There you-
heart attacks at the same rate. That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing how many wives have come to me and says, "Hey, go tell my husband." I was like, "Well, no, I need to tell you too.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to hear this as well." Here's the story for me is that I've as a military pilot for 27 years I've had a Class 1 flight physical every year. They check my cholesterol, and every year I'm borderline is what they would say. I'm on the right there, and my response has always been, "Well, I'm just going to do nothing." Meaning, if it's borderline, I'm okay. I'd rather not take drugs, not do anything. If I had all that to do over again, I would have changed that mindset
Well-
to a place of I'll take a statin
Right.
because
As a
it
preventive.
lowers the numbers that cause the potential of a heart attack.
Well, and I feel like that's going to be an issue for a lot of the pilot population, a lot of other people, both men and women out there. If you have a medical and you fly for a living or you just love to fly, you're going to be more inclined to not take that statin, not take that drug, whatever it is, even if it makes you safer, really, in the grand scheme of things, both yourself personally, health-wise, and as a pilot, health-wise.
That's right.
Because you're going to be afraid of aeromedical. What are they going to say? Am I going to get denied? Am I not going to be able to work for months or years because I want to take this drug as a preventive measure?
That's right.
When I was turned 35, my general practitioner started prescribing a statin for me. Now my cholesterol was not even, maybe borderline, I don't know, but he just said I'd prescribe it to all the men that are starting to get older.
Right.
And so I've actually been on a statin since then, and my cholesterol is actually in pretty good shape.
A good number.
With all the cheeseburger and pizzas that I do eat. So
Well, the aviator diet. I will tell you,
Yeah.
one of the interesting things about this is there's the fancy phrase is familial hypercholesterolemia. FH is what they call it. It means it's in your
Genetics.
family. It's in your
Oh,
genes.
right.
It's your family. And if you-
Hereditary?
it's hereditary. There's nothing I could have done about it. I eat reasonably well. And there's just not, I could have eaten better and still had my
Right.
problem. So the point that I'm making behind this, if there's anybody listening to this that is in a place where they're not taking a statin or not taking a drug, reconsider that if there's a family history of it, because we have a way today to be able to solve the problem.
yeah, and my dad died of a heart attack. His mother died of a heart attack. So yeah, it's probably good to.
Correct. You definitely got it the same way that I've got it.
Yeah.
And the other one is that I've yet to hear a doctor say a bad thing about taking a baby aspirin. And if there's another story that could be told for the pilot population is baby aspirins.
Why? Why baby aspirins? Why not full-grown adult or teenage aspirins?
Well, thins the blood just slightly, and
Right.
and that would help you survive this if it happened to you. So I tell you, it's a big thing. I can't tell you. I bet you I've gotten somewhere between 400 and 500 calls, emails, texts, some kind of a connection with me over this, and the lion's share of it has been people that have said, pilots that are saying, I'm worried about me, tell me your story, I want to learn, I want to hear, not just how do I get my medical back, there is some of that, but the grand percentage of people are just, how do I avoid that scenario? And there's data out there today, and pilots need to know about this.
Okay. So the takeaway is be cognizant of, heart attacks are the biggest killer, and next up is stalling your airplane. But the other takeaway is to should an event happen medically, to stay on top of the paperwork.
Yes.
And all right, so and fill everything out, and because it's not always just the bad guy FAA taking 2 years to get your medical through. It's oftentimes because you haven't followed the steps.
Things like the protocol for if you have a stent put in, which is what a heart attack and a stent, the protocol says you have to have a sleep study. I had a sleep study done within 10 days of having.
You're not going to sit around and let things lapse.
I did not. I was very proactive. We have a saying in the military, which is you are your own best career manager. No one's going to do it for you. don't think your doctor's going to do it for you.
No.
So if you have something happen, it's a medical, you have to be the one that's going to do the work, that's going to make things happen, assemble the data, put the package forward, and make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's.
Yeah, don't let any dust settle on you. Yep.
3 months, 1 day. Tell me about that first flight back.
You know what I miss the most? You know, I get to fly internationally. I fly King Airs. I'm a DP. I couldn't do any DP work because if you don't have a medical, you can't be a DP.
Yeah.
I did get to flight instruct for non-private pilot flight instruction.
Right, because they already are the pilot in command.
That's right.
Yeah, somebody going for their commercial or
That's
whatever.
right. Which I got to do what I love, which is flight instruct. But the other thing that I missed more than anything was just jumping in my own airplane and going where I want to go when I want to go there. The freedom of flight. And let me tell you, you don't want to lose that freedom. It's a tremendous freedom that we have to be able to just jump in an airplane, go anywhere in the country as far as the airplanes I fly, and that freedom is one you don't want to give up.
Well, that's a good one to end on. Never give up your freedom to fly. Thank you guys for watching. Thank Joe for coming on and sharing with us your experiences on that. I think it's really important that we get talking about that so that you can be prepared in case of an event. So thank you, and I want to thank our sponsors. Who do we have?
Let's see. We have Z-Vision, XE-Vision.
XEVision.com. They make the brightest landing and taxi lights. On my Cessna 210, I got some new wingtip lights that are very, very bright. In fact, I get radio calls. So
67 Designs.
So 67, it's a company that manufactures all their stuff here in the U.S., giving U.S. people the work. And they are incredibly reliable, sturdy. They're mounts for your phone, your cameras, in the cockpit or in your plane or boat. So 67D.com.
Marshall Protective Services.
MPSprotects.com, personal protection elevated. They're great.
And Colton Mortgage.
Colton Mortgage is residential mortgage, and it's run by pilot. Actually, all the sponsors I just listed are all pilots. So help our pilot community by visiting our sponsors, and ColtonTakingOff.com for your residential mortgage need. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.
In the hangar.